Joining me now is foreign editor at The Australian, Greg Sheridan. Greg, Chinese leaders are furious at the decision by Penny Wong and Richard Marles to go to Japan last week for discussions on increased security cooperation between our two countries. The visit to Japan came just a couple of days after a huge military parade was staged by China. Beijing's anger came to light with an editorial in the state-run China Daily, which read, what they've done by elevating their so-called special strategic partnership is actually stirring up tensions. And it went on to say that Japanese senior ministers didn't stop at just parroting their hackneyed China-targeted phrases from the playbook of the United States. So here's my question, Greg. When the Chinese parade their military hardware, well, that's peaceful. But when we talk to our friends about how to defend ourselves in the event they ever use that hardware against us, well, we're the ones stirring up tensions.
Yes, James, great to be with you. That's right. The hypocrisy of the Chinese state here, the People's Republic of China, is boundless. They dislike our strategic partnership with Japan. They also dislike that Australia-Japan joint communiques typically will say two things. One, that we reaffirm our long-held position that there should be no unilateral change to the status of Taiwan. That means China should not, the PRC should not take military action against Taiwan. And two, that we urge the PRC to stop, provocative, inflammatory and illegal, often, incursions into Japanese air and maritime space with their own military assets. So the PRC makes very provocative air and naval incursions into Japanese waters and airspace. And somehow or other, that's all normal. But if we and the Japanese make a communique about it, we're the worst people in the world. But the final thought, James, is all of this means, obviously, we should have a formidable defence force, and we certainly don't have that. So if the worst thing we do to annoy Beijing is issue communiques, they don't really have much to be worried about.
I've got to say, though, Greg, I'm surprised at China's reaction because I thought after the PM's trip to China, we would have a special kind of relationship with Beijing where they wouldn't get upset by these things.
No, well, Beijing doesn't really do that. It demands subservience and will occasionally give you a pat in the head for subservience. But as subservient as you are, it's never subservient enough. And the Albanese government is one of many governments to discover this. So we have taken the Chinese ambassador's advice and the Beijing government's advice. We have not increased our defence budget above the 2% of GDP. There's been a dollar increase, but not above the 2% of GDP. So we've rejected Donald Trump and Washington's request that we pull our weight in defence. We've accepted Beijing's advice. That's the most important thing we could do in Beijing's favour. The government, of course, would say we didn't make this decision to please Beijing, but that's what they want. They want to see us with no weapons. And that's not enough. That's not enough. Anthony Albanese will never say boo to a goose about Beijing, won't criticise them under any circumstances, but that's not enough. Just merely maintaining the normal relations that we have with Japan and with the Philippines and so forth is enough to earn their ire. And that's the pattern with Beijing. You know, they are classic bullies, and the more you give in to them, the more you're going to get bullied in the future.